Oh, hello everybody and welcome to Annapolis, Maryland for tonight's SFLm Week 8 action between the Lexington Miners and the Annapolis Navigators. I'm Jack Brown. Alongside me here tonight is Alden Bleeker here in the jubilant city of Annapolis, coming off the big win by the Navy Midshipmen over the Army Black Knights. Alden, there's so much to talk about on this game. Annapolis looking to continue the unbeaten streak, but for Lexington, they've always been a team known for upsets.
Well, and certainly pulled off a big upset last week. You know, we were talking about going into that game against Madison, you know, how were they even going to have a chance? And yet they pulled out the upset win, and they'll be looking to do the exact same here against Annapolis.
That they are. Annapolis, they've been known a lot for their rushing attack during this season with Randy Squarebush, but oddly enough, what people may not know is that their offensive production per game is pretty much 50-50.
Yeah, and Randy Squarebush has been shouldering a pretty heavy offensive load with the rushing game. But as we'll talk about throughout this game, he's had plenty of supporting players. Annapolis have been a very complete team this entire season.
That they have. We're moments away, and we are underway. Annapolis is set to get the ball first here in Maryland. Taking out the goal line, past the 10, past the 15, up to the 19-yard line. They're going to mark him down at. And out comes Gene Struthers and company. First and 10 for the Navigators. Coming out in the heavy set. Ball's on the 19. Handoff to Squarebush to start the game off. Squarebush finds some holes, opens them up himself, and gains 9 on the run. 2nd and 1.
We've seen more or less all season Randy Squarebush having almost 10 yards per carry. As I was crunching the numbers earlier, 9.7 yards per touch, and you know that partially owes to how explosive Randy Squarebush has been, but certainly picking up yards where it counts all season.
2nd down and 1. They're going to hand it off to Squarebush again, and look at Squarebush go. He only needed 1 yard, but he gained about 6 or 7. And it's going to be a first down for the Navigators.
Well, last week, Annapolis didn't really use that many runs, or call that many runs, I should say. And so far, first 2 plays of the game, 2 runs. Perhaps that's the strategy for Annapolis, is to lean heavily on the run.
1st and 10, once more for Annapolis. Going to be a drop back for Struthers. Throws the outside. That's going to be caught in bounds. Gain of 6. Catch made by Orain Darby, number 89. The Annapolis passing attack not quite as potent as their rushing attack, but they are ruthlessly efficient.
Yeah, and efficiency, that's really the name of the game, you know. As much as Randy Squarebush is explosive, you know, the passing game has been really his backup option. Usually it's the other way around, but Annapolis have found a way to flip it.
That they have. 2nd and 4, another quick draw for Gene Struthers. Throws over the middle. That's going to be caught for a first down. Catch made by Morgan Applewhite, the tight end. She just reached up in an absolute cloud of Lexington defenders and got that ball.
Well, last week we saw Lexington, one of their shining spots really was their pass defense, and that's really something that they're going to have to tighten up here. If Gene Struthers can march down the field, then it makes things infinitely easier for Randy Squarebush.
Struthers in the shotgun, low snap, looking around, nearly sacked, goes to the sidelines, going to be tipped up in the air, incomplete. Pass intended for number 88, Xavier Inman. Credit, though, to Gene Struthers just getting that ball out of there in the nick of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Credit to his offensive line, and credit to him for not panicking as the pocket was starting to collapse there. Good idea to get the ball down to the sidelines and pick up the yardage, but just under too much pressure to complete it.
Yeah, a little bit of a risky throw. These two teams not known for turning the ball over that much. Annapolis leads the league with only 6 turnovers as the throw of Squarebush as he runs down the sideline. Oh my goodness! He just laid a man down and put him to sleep and gains the first down. That is the sort of power that we've been seeing from Squarebush all season long.
Why, I was just getting ready to say Randy Squarebush has really been running over defenders. I mean, we've seen 2, 3, 4 defenders not being sufficient to take him down, and they're just barreling down the sidelines. A little outlet pass that just ends up being huge yards because he just blows over the corner covering.
1st and 10 once more, throws to the sidelines. That's going to be caught in bounds by Orain Darby. Just an insane stat about this offense in general for Annapolis. Through the 6 games they've played, they've not put up less than 37 points. 37 is their floor throughout the season.
Yeah, and it really brings up shades of the Albuquerque Adams team that we saw last season, that won the SFLm championship. And Annapolis have already clinched their playoff spot. They're looking for a better seed, and maybe this is a preview of a championship SFL team.
That it could be, as the throw gets the first down just barely. Catch made by Nick Lockett, number 10, the wide receiver. First and 10 once more. Deep drop from Struthers. Struthers looking right. Oh, he's going to go down for a sack. Loses 6 on the play. And the Lexington defensive line, they're already eating well. Corey Dobbins, the man who signed in week 2, he's truly one with the team now.
Well, you saw there number 97, which is, I believe, Ronaldo Gaylor for Lexington, buying time in from the offensive line, and the pocket just collapsed there. There was really nowhere for him to go, and now Annapolis, second and a country mile to go.
Second and about from here to Lexington, Kentucky, as the throws to the outside for Squarebush. Lays a man down, gets a few yards back, makes it 3rd and 14.
Man, and the power of Randy Squarebush there. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but it really is borderline superhuman. You have to throw guys on your defense and gals at him just to slow him down, and that really makes it difficult as a defensive coordinator.
3rd and 14, throws to the outside. It's going to be completed up to the 20, and expect to see the Annapolis kicking unit. That's exactly what we're going to see. It's going to be about a 36-yard attempt. Ken Martin with his first attempt tonight. Kick is away. It's a nice booming kick, and he makes it from 36 out. It's 3-0 Annapolis.
Well, this is really one of those positions that doesn't always get their name called, but having a good kicker can be the difference between victory and defeat sometimes. Last week we saw Brooke Beisel, the Lexington Miners kicker, go 100% on her kicks and went over 40 yards there, and we see Ken Martin getting off to a good start here for Annapolis.
Yeah, kickers are a vital position here in the SFL and in the SFLm, as the return man gets up to the 30 for Lexington. A lot of teams in the major leagues are either currently have kickers or are always looking for kickers to play for the team. I can know, at least for myself, my team, the Charleston Predators, we have a signed kicker. Now out comes Jaleel Usman the second. Usman has a lot of time in the pocket, throws over. That's going to be picked off, going the other way for Annapolis, and he's got all the room in front of him. That is a touchdown, Navigators, on the first play from scrimmage for Lexington. King Rashid on the interception and the tutty.
Well, and maybe a little bit of early game nerves here. You see number 27 for Annapolis just spots that all the way, and really nowhere for him to go but the end zone. I mean, no one in front of him, and that's Annapolis getting back the points that maybe they should have gotten to begin with. Lexington's defense now under even more pressure than they were before.
Yeah, and that was a very uncharacteristic turnover for the Miners. They, up until this point, up until this game, were tied for second least in the league with the Madison Lynx in terms of turnovers. That is only their 9th turnover this season, and unfortunately puts them well on the back foot early.
Yeah, it's as you say, as much as we've talked about, Gene Struthers and Johnny Reno from Tacoma, Jaleel Usman has proven to be a very reliable quarterback. So he's gonna get another opportunity to go out there, and he's gonna have to put this out of his mind and just go out there and do what he's supposed to as quarterback.
Yeah, currently the Miners with the 5th most passing yards in the SFLm. Right before the drop-off in passing yards. Meanwhile, the returnman for Lexington gets a really nice return to the 36. And for the Miners, if they want to stay upset bound, they need to clear that from their mind.
Yeah, as you said, Annapolis, 37 points, their lowest score of the season. So you really have to interrupt that rhythm. You can't let Annapolis start piling up points on you. And Lexington hopefully will have gone back to the drawing board here.
1st and 10, high snap for Usman. Usman goes to the sidelines. That's going to be caught in bounds. Nice, safe throw to get yourself back into rhythm. That catch was made by number 83, Frank Hubbard.
Yeah, and that's much more like what we've seen from Jaleel Usman. Very reliable to just get the ball in his receivers' hands and let them do their thing from there. That shows a lot of mental development as well as physical development to get those throws on target.
2nd down and 3. Hand off to the outside to Sawyer Stern. Sawyer Stern gets the 1st down. And nearly to midfield already are the Miners.
Yeah, and Stern about put his man on the Heisman Trophy here as we're going to see it again, and just gets a good block up the middle, and looked like that was maybe going to go for a long distance. Just credit to his strength to stay up as long as he did there.
Yeah, Yabambe Adams was the man who got the tackle finally on Sawyer Stern. And for Lexington, after the pick 6, they're moving well. Hand off the outside to Sawyer Stern. Stern picks up a block. Not able to pick up another one. Gets a gain of 8. Open field tackle made by Tazzy Blackwell.
Yeah, and that's another play where we see the blocks up front really making the difference and creating the play even. Sawyer Stern following his blocks over and now creating an opportunity where the Lexington coaches are much more free in what kind of plays they can pick.
2nd and 2. Gonna be another handoff to Sawyer Stern. And Sawyer Stern picks up another block. And I think had his blocker gotten there just in the nick of time, he probably could have been streaking for 6.
Yeah, definitely looked like he had some space on the sideline there, but Annapolis, the defense closing in on him. This is really now Lexington marching down the field in the way that we've seen Annapolis doing all game. This is more what they were hoping for from the very first kickoff.
1st and 10 once more. Oh, the receiver just dropped it. That was Brian Way, the return man, the intended target, and his first drop.
Yeah, I really think that's the correct pass. Like we said, down 10 against a team that's undefeated with the clinch playoff spot. Certainly, nerves can come into play, but it is a good sign that they're still making the correct decisions here.
2nd and 10, handoff to Sawyer Stern's going to lose him 2 yards. Tackle in the backfield made by Gary Lee Gond, getting her face in the backfield. Third and 12 now for the Miners. 3 wide to the top of your screen, 1 wide to the bottom. Usman Has a lot of time in the pocket, getting ready to throw it. Oh, he's going to be ripped down for the sack at Annapolis' 44, and Lexington going to have to send out the punt unit.
Yeah, this has been really a fierce display by Annapolis' defense here, and this is an issue that Lexington are going to have to diagnose here because they were in a position to kick a field goal, and now the punting unit coming on.
Yeah, this is not what you want to see if you're Lexington. 4th and 19, low snap, punt is away. Going to be called for a fair catch at the 11. Annapolis starting fairly far back in their own territory at their own 11. It's 1st and 10 for the Navs. Hand off the outside to Squarebush. Squarebush picks up some good blocks. Oh, he's streaking down the sideline. Past the 35, past the 40. Oh my goodness, I can't speak. What a run by Squarebush.
Well, and how typical of a Randy Squarebush run is that? I mean, it feels like we've been saying it all season. He gets 2 blocks up front, and that little bit of daylight, he just explodes down the sidelines. 1 tackle broken, 2 tackles broken, 3rd tackle almost broken, and I just really don't know how you deal with Randy Squarebush if you're a defensive coordinator. It's one of the most difficult tasks that the SFL Major League defensive coordinators are going to have to deal with over these next few seasons.
Free play for Annapolis as they're going to pick up some more blocks. Squarebush gets another 1st down. They're going to take the yards from the play. So it's going to be encroachment on the Miners. But it doesn't really matter because Squarebush got the 1st down and some change.
Well, and Lexington perhaps trying to dial up the pressure here. We've seen a lot of Annapolis getting deep into the pocket, and Lexington trying to get a good jump on the snap there, but just a little bit too soon. I mean, we're talking a fraction of a second.
Another handoff to Squarebush up the middle. It's going to be a nice gain of 5. 2nd down for the Navigator.
Randy Squarebush was a little slow to get up there. Certainly do not want to see Randy Squarebush getting hurt if you're an Annapolis fan or coach.
Right. Lexington playing close up on the line. Gonna hand it off to Squarebush again. Squarebush, oh man! Just lays a man down, gets 4 yards, makes it 3rd and 1.
And that really, as much as we see these big explosive Randy Squarebush plays down the sideline, these runs are just as detrimental to your defense. He just blows up the defensive play there, and he gets the yards that he probably shouldn't get.
As Squarebush picks up the 1st down easily, gets it to the Lexington 28. This Navigators offense is just wheeling and dealing throughout through this drive.
Yeah, and Randy Squarebush really, as much as we talk about his athleticism and his power, really showing one of the maybe I think underrated aspects of his game there, finding the alley inside of the coverage there to pick up that 1st down, and again, really exploiting those windows as best he can.
1st and 10, once more. Squarebush gets the handoff the outside. Can't take 2 people on his own. He may be strong, but no strength can overpower 2 defensive backs colliding at once. And that will bring us to the end of the 1st quarter here in Annapolis, Maryland. The jubilant fans are up 10-0 on the Lexington Miners. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching the Simulation Football League Minor League here on YouTube. Glad to have you with us. I'm Jack Brown alongside Alden Bleeker. 2nd and 9 for Annapolis. Ball's on 26 of Lexington. Throws it over to Squarebush. Squarebush turns upfield, gets some blocks, and he's going to get up to the 22, 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, and really a good job there for Lexington's defense. Coverage all over Randy Squarebush, and as it's really a difficult call as a defensive coordinator if you're going to cover Randy Squarebush or if you're going to cover the passing game, because really sometimes it feels like you can't do both, and really it feels like that's the decision you have to make as a defensive coordinator.
3rd and 4, throws over the middle, and threads the needle. Gets it to the 11-yard line. That is the lethal efficiency this Annapolis pass offense is known for having. Nick Lockett with the reception.
Well, and really we have to give credit to the people that have been around Randy Squarebush and helping him out. Nick Lockett has been an incredibly reliable option all season for Gene Struthers.
Looks to be a free play for Annapolis. And Squarebush is going to get maybe a yard or two, and they're going to probably just take the penalty yards. Oh, no, it's actually a penalty on the Navigators.
Wow.
Offensive holding, and that's going to set them back to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, and that maybe makes this a little trickier now. Annapolis, we're doing a great job marching down the field, and this is going to help Lexington's defense quite a bit here, I think. 1st and 20 now.
First and 20. Deep drop for Gene Struthers, and he's going to go down for a sack, making it 2nd and 27. And this drive is unraveling slowly but surely for the Navigators.
Yeah, and you talk about capitalizing on an opportunity, man, just the pocket being blown up from all angles there. That sack was almost split there between the Lexington defensive line. Really, Lexington's defense playing with a chip on their shoulder now that they have an opportunity.
Ian Rodenbush was the man on the sack. Nearly sacks twice in a row. Gene Struthers. Oh, it's a catch, and it's in! Touchdown, Navigators! Nick Lockett. What a grab!
Well, we were just talking about how Nick Lockett has been such a reliable option for Gene Struthers all year, and 2nd in a country mile. I mean, this wasn't even 2nd and goal. Just going up in double coverage and coming down with the ball, that would have been impressive enough, but showing the athleticism to get across the plane, that is an exceptional pass and catch.
A little bit surprised we did not get a challenge flag, as it may have looked like his knee was down just outside the goal line, but it looks to be that the Miners are going to take it and be down 17-0 with the extra point on the way, and it's through. It's good.
Well, Annapolis have gotten off to exactly the kind of start that they wanted, and Lexington continuing to search for their footing, continuing to search for their sea legs, so to speak, and this is really starting to get concerning for Lexington. I certainly hope that they can turn things around, because Lexington is a very talented team, and I do hope they get a chance to showcase that here tonight.
Yeah, Lexington, not a team known for slowing down once they're in the lead. And they have not slowed down at all this season. So for Lexington, they kind of need to get some points on the board. First and 10, deep drop for Usman. Usman goes deep over the middle, and that's the perfect play. Gets it to the Annapolis 48-yard line. Catch made by David Gares.
Well, and we saw again, how many times have we seen this game? The pressure in the pocket starting to come there, but Usman scanning through the route tree, finding his man open downfield, and although that was almost triple coverage, that was really his best option, and gets the ball right to his man, and they're past the 50 now.
That they are. First and 10 for Usman. Usman looking around, going to throw to the sidelines. That's going to be caught inbounds and out of bounds. Gain of 5 on the play.
And taking what they can get here are Lexington, but in the grand scheme of things, that strategy has worked quite well for them here so far.
Yeah, clearly they're up by 3 scores early, and they're going to put them down again. Third down and 5. Sawyer Stern could not get past the first level of the Annapolis defense. Derek Meerkat with the tackle.
Yeah, that was a stern hit there by Meerkat, and that really is something that could potentially. Oh man, this is worrisome if you're a Lexington fan.
That it is. Very deep drop for Usman. Usman, he doesn't have enough time. He's going to go down. Back behind Annapolis' 50. And a drive that has started so promising has just fallen to pieces for the Miners.
Yeah, and again, this defensive pressure has really been part of the reason that Lexington have been struggling. And oh man, you really feel for Lexington here because that drive started very well for them, and it just falls apart there at the very end.
Low snap, but the punt is away. Taken at about the 10 by Lexington, up by Annapolis, up to the 16. And there's a player down, Trent Wentworth, the backup running back for the Miners.
Yeah, we'll have to see where this. Oh man, yeah, and sent up front to block. Looks like he may have rolled his ankle or his knee there. That's tough to watch. You never want to see one of these young players get hurt like that.
Yeah, the man got sandwiched in between 2 navigators. And unfortunately, there's just no way that you can win in a situation like that. First and 10 for Annapolis. Ball's on their own 16. They put it in the end zone from 5 yards further back. Let's see what they can do here. Throws to Squarebush. And it's going to be no gain, no loss. Actually, that's to the fullback, Waylon Smith.
Yeah, and really smothering coverage from Lexington. That's more what they're hoping for in terms of pass coverage here. That we'll have to see if they can continue to do that here. I mean, 4 downs like that would be ideal for them, I think.
Deep drop, throws over the middle. That's going to be caught for a first down up to the 31-yard line. Annapolis moving the ball with conviction. Chance with the reception. And just look at the dime from Gene Struthers.
Yeah, that looked like it almost floated through the air. I mean, we see a lot of passes both here in the minor leagues and up in the pros, but that we see a lot of lasers, I should say, but that just very gently floating through the air. A very artful pass by Gene Struthers.
Struthers with another deep drop, throws it over to Squarebush. Squarebush gains about 4. And that'll make it 2nd and 6. Second down and 6 for Annapolis. Struthers throws over the middle. That's an easy first down. Simple as they come. Mike Kelly picks up the first down, moves the chains.
Yeah, that looked very close to the sticks. Maybe marginally worth a challenge flag, but that's really all you need to do is just pick up the yards and move the sticks. And Annapolis have really been doing a great job of marching all game.
Throwing to the outside, Struthers going to be another nice catch and a nice little spin move. Gets him up to the 48. Second and 4. Second and 4. Struthers throws the outside. That's caught for a first down. Nick Lockett, had he not done a little sidestep out of bounds, probably could have gotten an extra 5 or 10 yards.
Well, Nick Lockett really has been Gene Struthers' favorite target this game. Certainly one of, if not his favorite target, and really that has been a part of why we've seen Annapolis' offense be so successful. You know, as much as praise and admiration as Randy Squarebush gets, and rightfully so, Gene Struthers and Nick Lockett are quite the combo here so far.
First and 10, another handoff to the outside. Squarebush has all the room in front of him. Squarebush picking up the blocks to the 20 to the 15. Gets down to the 10, and it's first and goal for the Navigators. You know, I would say that that's shocking, but for Squarebush, the excellent is the norm.
Yeah, to quote myself last week, we're running out of combinations of nouns, verbs, and adjectives to describe what Randy Squarebush has done to defenses here in the SFL minor leagues. And, you know, as much as he has power, you know, demonstrating his speed there, 2 or 3 men trying unsuccessfully to bring him down, but he just blows past them, and really almost no one caught up to him.
Lockett getting the reception for a gain of 3 to the outside. You know, Alden, we may have to start looking into other languages for superlatives to describe Randy Squarebush with. You know, I don't know if you have any second or third language, but it might come in handy right about now.
I'm working on Irish. It's not great, I'll be honest.
We'll figure it out. Second and 7 for the Navigators. Ball is on the 8-yard line. Handoff to Squarebush. Parting the Red Caesars offensive line, charging forward. Gets down to the 1. And it's 3rd and 1, but effectively 3rd and goal for the Navigators.
Yeah, this would be certainly an exceptional goal line stand by Lexington's defense. Blitzes and short coverage going to be the recipe of the day here.
That it should be. Hand off the outside for Squarebush. He picks up the blocks. He picks up the touchdown.
Yeah, and this is just a fantastic drawn run here. Usually, you know, sometimes you see people going for pitches to go on these broad angles on the outside run there, but he just picks up 2-3 blocks, and he's just able to get wide enough that there's no way for the Lexington defense to catch up to him.
Yeah, it was a very similar play call to one that we all have seen in real life. You know, just that simple stretch play on the goal line. You don't want to go right into the heart because you don't think you can beat him out. So you kind of do the little misdirection. You know, it was the same thing that Oklahoma State wanted to do in the Big 12 championship. It didn't work for them, but it did work for Annapolis.
Yeah, perhaps even a show of respect for Lexington's defense, but it ended up being the best possible decision there.
And for Annapolis, their boot is firmly on the throat of the Lexington Miners. Not off to a great start, but there's still a lot of time left for the Miners to make something. As Way gets it to the 30-yard line, not a bad return at all.
Well, a quick scoring update in the Memphis-Boise game, potential playoff spot on the line for Memphis as they continue their campaign. Memphis up 3-0 on Boise with 4 minutes left in the first quarter in that game.
Both games meaning a lot for the playoffs here. Lexington, though, not in a good spot. Down 24-0 as they lob this one deep, tipped, and that should have been picked off.
Oh my.
How lucky is Jaleel Usman? Ooh, ouch. Torn Achilles.
10 weeks. Well, yes, it's certainly we speculated that it was possibly a leg injury, but that is possibly the worst kind of leg injury that you can have. Certainly, thoughts of the SFL players and staff are going to be with him as he recovers from that injury, and Lexington going to have to do their best without his contribution here.
Yeah, but luckily for Lexington, he will be back up in working order soon enough. The doctors here in the SFL and SFLm, they work some magic. You know, player could rupture an Achilles and they'll be back on the field next week. 3rd down and 4 for Lexington, and they're going to need this first down more than anything else. Third and 4. Usman in the shotgun. Crossing route, throws over, caught, first down to the 49-yard line. And what a catch by John Michael Sudeth to move the chains.
Yeah, and we've talked about Randy Squarebush, his power running, and that's some power receiving there, thrown into double coverage, but he just secures it so tightly that really double, triple, 2-3 defenders, really necessary to bring him down there.
1st and 10, handoff to Sawyer. Sawyer Stern getting a nice 9 yards. Looking a bit like Randy Squarebush on the run.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak too soon and jinx Lexington, but they really are starting to march here.
That they are. 2-minute warning here in Annapolis. The Navigators may be up 24-0, but the Miners are not out of it yet, folks. Stay tuned. You're watching the SFLm on YouTube. Second and 1 for the Miners. Pretty much could just fall forward and they get the first down. Handoff to Sawyer Stern. Stern picking up some blocks. Stern gets it down to the 30.
Well, and Sawyer Stern, as much as we've talked about Squarebush this game, doing a great job finding his blocks, following the tiny little bit of daylight that he had there, and does a good job of finding the space. But Annapolis's defense does eventually close him out there.
1st and 10. Quick drop from Usman. Usman throws the outside. That's going to be caught. And a little clothesline hit. Gain of 8 on the play, though. Zachary Patton with his first... Oh, no, actually, that's David Gares. Sorry.
Well, as Candy Kane mentions in the chat, as much as we've talked about, Randy Squarebush in this so far really successful performance for Annapolis, Sawyer Stern is having quite a game of his own.
Deep drop for Usman. Usman throws over the middle. That's going to be caught. 1st and goal for the Miners. And they're in a position now where it's pretty much guaranteed points unless we get a turnover.
Yeah, and that's Lexington have already given up a turnover. Certainly that's going to be something on their mind, but this has been a much more productive drive than they've seen more or less throughout the first half.
Handoff Sawyer Stern right up the middle. Sawyer Stern gets 3. They're going to go into the hurry-up. Want to just run this into Annapolis' throat.
Perhaps saving their timeouts here?
Probably. Throws over the middle. Goes up. Oh, tipped it complete. That was a dangerous throw. Could have been an interception. And that would have meant all of that was for naught.
Yeah, and Jaleel Usman has really, to his credit, after giving up that pick, has really tried his best to stay in this, finding the open men and finding these passes. You certainly can't say that it's been damaging to his confidence, that early interception.
3rd down and goal. Quick drop, throws, and that's a touchdown! Lexington. Zachary Patton gets his first reception, and he gets it when Lexington needed it most.
Well, you can't come back if you can't score, and this is really the first step on what's going to be a journey throughout the second half for Lexington. They do get the ball first in the second half, and really this rhythm and this confidence that they've been able to find in this drive towards the dying moments of the first half is going to serve them well as they look to continue the momentum.
Brooke Beisel out to attempt the extra point. Kick is away, and it's good. 24-7, 45 seconds remaining in the first half, and Lexington gets the ball to start the second half.
This is one of those games that, although Annapolis is up by 3 scores or 4, depending on how you do the math, this game is not over. Certainly, plenty of adjustments that can be made by Lexington.
Kick is booming and away, taken in the end zone by Annapolis. Up past the 20, going to the outside, makes that the 23. And I'd expect the Navigators to hand it off to Squarebush a few times, take it to the half.
Yeah, certainly a first down would put them into kneeling territory. Although Randy Squarebush, we've seen him be in a situation where you think he would just get tiny little short runs to run the clock, and he explodes down the field. So
we almost just had it happen for Squarebush right there. Gains 3, and I think that might be the final play of the first half. We'll have to see if Annapolis snaps the ball in this next play.
Well, they're coming out well before the end of the half.
Yeah. But the play clock is greater than the actual game clock.
That's true.
No, they're going to hand it off. Squarebush. Oh, he's got room to the outside. That's never what you want to see. But Lexington minimizes the damage, and we go into the half with Annapolis up on Lexington, 24-7. And so we look at the stats at halftime. Annapolis up big on the Miners. And, well, look at that. It's their balanced yet potent offense leading the charge once again.
Yeah, really, and I think that those statistics that you see may not quite tell the whole story of the first half, because although Annapolis are up big, and although Gene Struthers and although Randy Squarebush have been having an excellent game, I think really you've seen a lot of improvement towards the end of that second half, or towards the end of the first half, excuse me, from Lexington. They've marched down the field, they got those 7 points, they really have put that interception, that pick 6 that we see there behind them. And I think there's a lot that Lexington can do here. It's really all going to be a matter of continuing to keep the ball in their hands, avoiding turnovers and quite honestly getting stops, whether it's turnovers, whether it's these pressure sacks leading to 3 and outs, whether it's just interceptions in general. Really, you've got to stop Gene Struthers, you've got to stop Randy Squarebush, but this comeback is doable. We were talking at halftime about how unlikely it was for Madison to lose, and Madison to lose to Lexington, and look what happened there.
Yeah, so right now, momentum is slightly in favor of Lexington, but on their first drive in this second half, they're going to need to come out big.
And there's multiple ways. It doesn't have to result in a touchdown from kickoff, but really Lexington need to put themselves in a position to be successful if this comeback is going to continue.
Ken Martin's got the ball on the tee. We have 22 minutes down. We got 22 minutes to go here in Annapolis, Maryland. The city looking to bring home a second big win in the game of football. Second half is underway. Ball taken at the 10, past the 20, past the 25, up to the 27.
Well, it's not quite ideal field position for Lexington. Certainly, you would have liked to see a big return there, but this is workable for Usman and for everyone else on the Lexington offense, and they're gonna get their first opportunity. We're gonna see if they're gonna able to continue this momentum here.
Throws over the middle. That's
Oh,
going to be dangerous, and it's going to be incomplete. 2nd and 10. Pass intended for David Gares. Nearly intercepted. A lot of these almost picks that Jaleel Usman's been throwing tonight.
well, yeah, and you can't fault Usman for making that pass. Those have worked more or less all night, but you see Yabimbe Adams just all over this pass, gets his hand on it or gets his helmet on it, I should say, and just wraps the target up there, and that really was an exceptional play from Yabimbe Adams.
2nd and 10. Deep drop from Usman. Throws it short, well behind the line of scrimmage. And he gets hit hard behind the line. Tackle made by King Rashid, who had the pick 6 earlier.
Yeah, and King Rashid, man, talk about a fantastic game for him. That pick 6 obviously getting Annapolis on the right foot defensively, but we're just seeing all kinds of big hits on Lexington here. It's really making it difficult for them to push past the line of scrimmage.
Usman goes deep, tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. 4th and 11. Pass intended for Armstrong, and that is going to force the punting unit to come out in a drive that could have meant a lot more.
Yeah, and that's, man, you really, again, it's one of those scenarios where, there's really not anything that was done wrong between the play calling or the execution that you could really point to, just not quite working out the way that Lexington had envisioned.
Punt is away from Lexington, and Annapolis is going to field it at their own 35, taking it up to their own 38. Hand off the outside for Squarebush. Squarebush picks up the first block easily, able to outrun the second defender. Not able to outrun the third, though, but makes it to the 38. And Squarebush, just look at those statistics.
Yeah, we saw the first line of defense there for Lexington got knocked over by the impact block. Another tackle broken. Third tackle finally does get him, but this is so rough for the Lexington defense here. I mean, Randy Squarebush is fired up as it is, and he's getting good blocks here too.
Deep drop, and it looks to be it's going to be a free play. Struthers throws it deep, gets it down to the 15.
Well, we'll have to see what this was. I mean, that looked like an offside, but that penalty flag came out pretty late.
Yeah, it came up behind the line of scrimmage. But they are going to give it to Lexington, though.
Well, that's and as we talk about the pass there, I mean, just a fantastic pass laid up there by Gene Struthers. As much as we saw that pass earlier, where he just sort of floated it in the air, a bit more power put on that one there, and just puts it right in the hands of his man. Really accurate, deadly accurate from Gene Struthers here tonight.
Throws the outside. That's going to be caught. Touchdown! Navigators and O'Rain Darby punches it in. And for the 7th straight game, the Navigators have scored at least 30 points.
Yeah, well, we've talked about how really you usually use your running game to set up your passing game, and how Annapolis have really have really done the opposite. But really, it's been more straightforward here tonight. Randy Squarebush has been a threat to go downfield and take one block and turn it into 6 points. We see there the defense is looking at Randy Squarebush, and the space opens up towards the end zone.
Low snap, kick is away, and it's good. 31-7 now in favor of the Navigators, who seem to be firmly in control of the ball game. Ball's on the tee once again for the Navigators. Kick is away, and it's going to be fielded around the 10, taking it past the 20, past the 25. Oh, there's a lane open to the 34. Could have got a heck of a lot more.
Yeah, and this is really what we've seen from Way, all season, setting up opportunities for Lexington and gets them in good field position here. Really, I think this is one of their best starting positions all game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Deep drop, throws to the sideline. It's going to be caught crossing the 50-yard line. And once again, Lexington gets that good first start to the drive.
Well, it's like we've been saying all game. Usman has been putting on a performance that really, I think, deserves better than Lexington have gotten here. And really, I think it's a credit to how complete Annapolis's defense is that this game is not closer than it is. Patton, Usman, and really, like we said earlier, Sawyer Stern have all been having great games, and they're gonna have to continue to do their very best just to keep up.
And another good play on 1st and 10 sets up 2nd and 3 on the pass to Zachary Patton. Lexington needs to keep this going, though. There have been a lot of drives that started well for them, but have girded to a halt. Handoff to Sawyer Stern, and Sawyer Stern finds a hole, runs right through it, gets the first down.
Well, that's what we've been saying about Sawyer Stern. He's not quite been having the explosive performance that we've seen from Randy Squarebush here so far. But again, he really does what you could possibly hope for from an SFL level running back. He just takes the little bit of space that he's given by the blocks, and he just blows it open. He gets a first down, and that's really been one of the things that's been working for Lexington here.
That it has, throws over the middle, the dime is caught, and the dime's down to the 14. John Michael Sudis with a great catch.
Well, and Jaleel Usman has really done his thing here to just get the ball to the receivers and let them get into the space they need to get yards and to get downfield. I don't want to jinx Lexington, excuse me, but they really have been making forward progress in the same way that they did at the end of the first half.
Deep drop, throws over the middle. It's going to be caught by the wrong man, but still 5 yards gained nonetheless, down to the 9.
Well, you see there, just what we're talking about. Although Jaleel Usman has only one touchdown and has given up that interception, in terms of pure yardage, he's done a fantastic job of staying in the game and keeping up with Gene Struthers.
Second and 5, handoff to the outside, and it's going to be tackled behind the line. 3rd and 5. Tackle made by number 34, that's Stuart Zamalia.
Yeah, and that's, we've been seeing defensive pressure from Annapolis at the top all game. Really, that looked like a play that was designed to cause pressure as Usman has been heating up, but unfortunately gets the rundown as well.
Throws over the middle. That's another touchdown! What a grab in traffic! And Lexington gets the statement they need as they hope to turn this into a bit of a shootout.
Yeah, and really Lexington need to start stringing together some stops, or at the very least limiting the number of points that Annapolis is putting up. But this is really a positive sign for Lexington. Jaleel Usman has been, barring that interception, has been extremely reliable. You can put the ball in his hands and he's going to get some yards for you. He's going to move the sticks, and in the case of these past few drives, he's going to get you points.
Kick is away, and it's through. 31-14 is now the score here in Annapolis. Kick is away, going to be taken at the goal line. Up past the 20. No, they're going to track it down to the 20 exactly. And Lexington's got 80 yards to go if they want to surpass 35.
Yeah, this is really clutch time for Lexington. Although there's plenty of time left in this game, if Lexington really need to start putting together needs to start stringing together stops. Excuse me. Like we said, this is really an opportunity to put the ball back in the hands of the offense.
They're going to say that was caught by Nick Lockett at the 26. Yeah.
That looked iffy to me. I personally, if it was me on the sideline, I'm throwing the challenge flag.
Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, and they're going to let it stay in 2nd and 3.
Perhaps Lexington maybe valuing their timeouts more.
Second and 3. Handoff and Squarebush caught behind the line. That's not something you see every day.
Yeah, it's not something you see every day, and it's certainly not something that we've seen this game. Lexington really having a chance now to make a stand.
Third down and 6, empty backfield. Gene Struthers dropping back deep, throws to the sideline, caught, and Lexington gets the stop.
Well, that one, I don't think there'll be any sort of controversy about. Very clearly caught, and then whether or not it was a catch went out of bounds, and now it's interesting. Punting team coming out here, but I think maybe an argument to put the ball in the hands of Squarebush when you're up this high.
Snaps very low, but the punt is away. Taking it around the 35, up to the 45. And Lexington, if they want to make the comeback, things are looking pretty good.
Well, that's basically how these positive offensive drives have gone for Lexington, or how they've started anyway. Starting good field position, and then you put the ball in the hands of either Usman or Sawyer Stern, and really just let them chip away at the Annapolis defense. This could be an opportunity to turn this game around here.
And off the outside, loss of 1. No, they're going to say that Sawyer Stern got back to the line.
Well, we've talked all season about how Annapolis have been really a complete team, from top to bottom, offense and defense, and Lexington are really going to have to function as a unit for the rest of this game if they hope to finish off this comeback that they're threatening.
Throws to the outside. Sawyer Stern not going to get much more out of it. And so it's 3rd and 10.
Certainly not 4-down territory for Lexington because they're behind so much, but oh man, this feels tough if you have to punt it here, go 3 and out.
3rd and 10. Quick drop and oh! Hit down as he got sacked by number 90 for Annapolis. That's Jimmy Naples. And for Lexington, that's not a good sign for their comeback.
Yeah, and that's really an inversion of trends. We've seen, despite the pressure that's been coming towards Usman all game, the pocket really has been well established by the Lexington offensive line, and that's just a bad time for that sack to come.
Yeah, really inopportune. And for Annapolis, they have the opportunity to extend their lead even further.
Well, it was a fantastic series on defense last time for Lexington. We saw them go 3 and out. That catch that was perhaps a bit controversial, and ball don't lie, as they say. They ended up getting the 3 and out, and they'll be looking to get another quick 3 and out here.
Very deep drop. Struthers moving around the pocket. Oh, nearly goes down, and he does. Losing 6 on the play. No matter what, that is some very, very impressive maneuvering in the pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, showing some great resilience to stay out there. But man, Corey Dobbins using the swim move to just get around his man there, and God, that pocket, really looked like there was nowhere for him to get inside, but just explodes through and knocks Struthers down for, I believe, one of the first times today.
Struthers moving around the pocket, throws deep. That's going to be caught. Easy first down to midfield. Don't worry about pressure. He never took his eyes off Orain Darby, and Darby in turn never took his eyes off the ball.
Well, that's how he has a quarterback rating of almost 134 today. It really looked like the coverage was going to be too much from Lexington there, but somehow, some way, Gene Struthers finding his man and finding him in space to boot.
1st and 10, balls in midfield, deep drop. Throws to Squarebush. Squarebush, oh, he's picking up the blocks. This is when he's dangerous. He gets the first down and a few yards on top of it. And Squarebush, I mean, what can be said?
It's almost like these outlet passes to Squarebush. It's almost like they're being drawn up like the way that you would draw a run for Randy Squarebush. He's just getting outside, getting up into the face of the coverage, and just bowling over them as he likes to do here. This is really scary if for SFL level defenses, if his coach at the next level can find ways to do exactly that.
Another throw over the middle, and it's another first down over the middle. Orain Darby with another huge grab. Him and Squarebush and Lockett have been basically just churning out yards and points all night.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about the free agency show and the re-signing show and the draft coming very soon, and we talk a lot about how these power positions, quarterback, wide receiver, and running back, and of course the defense as well. But we're really starting to see a trend in the SFL major leagues where offensive lines, and admittedly I'm a bit biased as an offensive line player myself, where offensive lines are starting to become more and more valued and more stacked. I think as scary as Randy Squarebush is on his own, with his power, with his speed, with his athleticism, he's going to be even scarier if he goes to a team that has a well-built, strong, athletic offensive line.
Meanwhile, Squarebush makes up the lost yardage, makes it 3rd and 4. Struthers under center. Looking around, throws over the middle, and oh, that was nearly picked off. Ooh. Luckily for them, though, it was not, and they'll be able to just tack on 3.
Yeah, and Justin Wilkes really, as you know, as much as we've been talking about the Annapolis linebackers reading plays here, that's exactly what he does here. Reads the eyes of Gene Struthers and knows exactly how long to stay back in coverage and when to come up. And although this is not quite a 3-and-out like they were hoping for, this does give them a little more hope than if Annapolis had scored a touchdown.
And especially if Ken Martin misses this field goal, it'll be a huge swing in favor of the Miners. Snaps low, kick nearly blocked, and it's good.
Well, that's about the best that you can hope for Lexington here. As we're gonna see it again, yeah, that almost blew up, man, and just to get it as close to center as it was really is a true display of effort and talent here.
That it was. So ball's on the team. We're about to get it all started over for the Miners as they're now down by 20. It's a series of very long and endless drives that Annapolis has gone on, because that's really the big thing. They haven't really relied too much on the big plays.
Yeah, that's the thing, as much as we associate, Randy Squarebush and even sometimes Gene Struthers with these, one-time explosive plays that just, all of a sudden put points on the board. They really have, excuse me, had more of a stable approach of just getting the yards where they can and getting the points where they can, and it's worked out quite well for them here.
And well, speaking of big plays, it's the same route that Lexington's been really milking throughout this game. Zachary Patton on the little post route, and they're going to cross midfield.
Yeah, and they had to just lay him out there. You see, I believe that is yeah, that is going to be that is going to be King Rashid there. They're really just having to lay him out there to prevent him from getting all the way down the field. We're really seeing Usman doing what he is supposed to do here as a quarterback, which is leading this offense, finding the open men, knowing when to be safe and knowing when to be a little more aggressive. And they're past the 50 here.
Hand off to the outside for Sawyer Stern as he gets hit after the gain of 5. That'll take us to the end of the third quarter here in Annapolis. Get your 4s up. Get your 86s up, folks. We're heading to the fourth quarter. The Miners are down by 20, but they're looking to mount a comeback. You're watching the SFLm on YouTube. Loving all the 4s and 86s we're seeing in chat. Usman finds Stern on the flat. Can Stern get the first down? No, he will not. 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about Usman, the mental intangibles that he's really been displaying all game. Again, really just taking the decision that maybe is not the most explosive, the most flashy possibility, but he does get the ball to his man, and they're in a situation where I think they can pick up a first down here.
Looking around as Usman throws, and it's going to be off the helmet, incomplete. Zachary Patton, I think, was the intended target. Doesn't quite work out, though, and unfortunately they may have to punt it away. Although, don't be surprised if they stay out on the field.
Yeah, that was, oh man, that's rough. Really, Usman has been making these correct decisions all game long, and they are going to punt here.
Surprised they're punting when you're this far down with this relatively little time left as the punt gets nearly blocked. You would try and just get the points you can. And, well, that's a good punt, I'll say that much. As Annapolis is going to start it on their 4.
Yeah, we saw Lexington watching that ball to go down towards the 2, but I mean, it just rolled that way on its own. Well, Lexington, their defense still put in a tricky situation here where we're in the fourth quarter and they really need to start stringing together blocks, but Annapolis have really had their backs put against the wall here by that fantastic punt.
Very deep drop from Struthers to start the drive, and that's going to provide a little bit more comfort and safeties. They're going to get up to the 9. Second and 5 for Annapolis. They come out in the heavy set. Deep drop, throws over. That's going to be caught in bounds by Squarebush. Not enough for the first down. 3rd and 1.
Man, and that's really that's frustrating as if you're on the defense. You know, we've really been seeing Lexington being in the correct positions to make these stops, but Randy Squarebush just bowling them over. And you know, it's a combination of the speed and the size and the athleticism of Randy Squarebush, but you just got to keep putting yourself in the right positions and hope it works out for you against this caliber of player.
3rd and 1, that's a first down. Randy Squarebush doing what every running back is ordered to do and just get 2 yards when you need 1. First and 10. Finds Squarebush on the outside. Squarebush goes right into the heart of the defense. Gains 6.
Yeah, this is really that Lexington getting a great opportunity. They're gonna have to get a stop here sooner or later. Getting a good doing a good job there, excuse me, to prevent Squarebush from picking up the first down yardage. And they've got to continue their momentum here on defense. You know, they've got to work like a well-oiled machine, like we've been saying.
2nd and 4. Struthers goes over the middle, tipped, nearly intercepted. 3rd and 4. Tip made by Daryl Bollock.
Well, that, I mean, certainly you would hope for an interception there if you're Lexington, but just flooding the middle of the field there, getting his hand on it, as sometimes those pass deflections can be as useful as a turnover, as an interception, especially if it rattles the quarterback's rhythm.
Throw the outside, finds Squarebush, charges forward, he's not going to get it!
Wow. Oh, that is not... Randy Squarebush has just been bowling over these first line coverages here all game, and that's the first time that we've really seen such a harsh tackle coming in from Lexington, getting the stop on Randy Squarebush. And Lexington are certain, if they had a field position better than the 30 before, they're certainly going to break that here.
That they are. They're going to take it at their own 40.
Ooh.
And a little bit of spinning, a little bit of shaking and baking. Gets him to the 46.
That, oh man, that stop, really, I don't think we can put into words how huge it is. Lexington still have an uphill fight here, and they're really starting at the bottom of that hill, but they have the ball in their hands, and that is the first step.
Usman in the backfield. All in his own. Empty backfield shotgun. High snap. Moving around the pocket. He's going to go down for a sack. Basically just invited Odette Bordeaux into the backfield, and she came running in and she laid down the law.
Yeah, and that's really, man, we've seen this defensive line all season from Annapolis really have really been getting inside of pockets all over the SFLm, and you know, you really can't fault a quarterback when the defensive line just changes levels, changes speeds, and gets inside. Really, Usman showing a lot of courage to even stay up as long as he did.
Tipped, nearly picked, but it's going to be incomplete. 3rd and 16 now. Looked like Gond was on the deflection.
Yeah, and this is really going to have to be a well-drawn play here from Lexington. Third in a country mile.
They need to get at least across midfield to get a good spot to maybe even go for it. Caught!
Ooh.
That's going to be up to the 47, and I would not be surprised at all if they go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, certainly you have to think a punt is... Man, I don't want to say that a punt loses them the game here, because this game is far from over, but if you punt here, you're already 3 scores down, and that exactly what it looks like is going to happen here. You're already 3 scores down, and I just think at a certain point you have to take a risk, knowing that the game is on the line here, and your playoff future is on the line.
Yeah, surprised they're not going more aggressive, but they're going to have Annapolis start from the 18.
Well, Lexington have gotten 2 really important stops here, and regardless of whether they were able to turn it into points at the other end, is really circumstantial to the fact that they need to continue getting these stops, and that a 3rd and out, like they got 2 or 3 drives ago, is exactly what they're going to be looking for.
Throw over the middle. It's going to be a complete 2nd and 10.
It's a good start by Lexington. What we've seen working, relatively speaking, against Gene Struthers has been really flooding the middle and just hoping that you can get your hands on it for a tip. Lots of tip drills that we've seen, and if those tip drills continue, sooner or later it's going to turn into an interception.
Heavy set, though. Don't expect a pass attempt. Yep, and they're going to hand it off to Squarebush, but Squarebush gets eaten up behind the line, and Lexington seems to finally be clamping down on the running game of Annapolis.
Well, it feels odd to say that Randy Squarebush is underperforming his average, putting up 8 yards per game, but Lexington have really adjusted well to Randy Squarebush's run these past couple drives, hitting him behind the line, and this is now a tricky situation for Annapolis.
Deep drop for Gene Struthers. Lobs one deep, tipped incomplete. They're going to have to punt it away.
Wow, and this is a huge opportunity for Lexington. Darn near a coverage sack set up by the the secondary and the defensive line, causing pressure up at the front. This is really an opportunity for Lexington. We keep saying that if the defense can string these stops together, that's the first step. But now Lexington getting the ball back in their hands, and they have to march down the field and put up points, and really they're starting to run out of time is perhaps the concerning thing.
Yeah, if they get into a 4th down situation, they absolutely must go for it. There is no questioning it now.
I agree. Lexington, though, continuing to fight, and I think there's a lot of talent at the SFLm level, and really sometimes games can be won or lost in that mental aspect. Lexington are going to have to show a lot of toughness to pull this off.
Moving around the pocket, it's going to be a sack for Jaleel Usman. This time, it's number 99 knocking him down. It's going to be Brandon Duncan.
Yeah, and this, oh man, we've really seen all game Annapolis's defensive line just getting up in the pocket, really occupying essentially the entire Lexington offensive line and pulling them apart. That really has been where this Annapolis defensive line has found their success.
Throws to the outside. It's going to be a 3rd down and 11.
4 sacks total for Annapolis, as Candy Cane points out in chat. I believe that's correct. I don't believe any of these sacks have been split. You know, that's really been one of the things that Annapolis has done well on defense.
Third and 11. All the time in the world, finds Sawyer Stern, and it's going to be not enough for the first down. 4th and 7.
Well, we've talked about this being 4th down territory. Less than 5 minutes and 3 timeouts for Lexington. This is so tough.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard decision, and they're going to go for the punt. And the punt's nearly blocked. This is going to be taken at the 15. Ooh. And they're going to say he got to the 15. Look at that.
Well, this is Lexington, their defense trotting out there again. Annapolis going to be looking to chew time off of the clock here, and Lexington going to be looking for a quick resolution to this drive. If Annapolis can chew this closer to 2 or 3 minutes, I think that's as successful as them putting points on the board, quite frankly.
There is a penalty on the play. It's going to be picked off by Lexington. Going to go down to the 15. We're going to have to see what this was for. A lot of stuff was happening on that play. Maybe a holding on Annapolis. Oh, it's defensive holding against Lexington.
Oh, no. Oh, that would have been such a huge opportunity for Lexington, and defensive holding. So not only do they not get the interception, Annapolis getting free downs and free yards. That is so rough.
1st and 10, very high snap to Struthers. Thrown to the outside on a new lease of life, 1st and 10. And he takes a good chunk out of it, 2nd and 3.
Well, as we were saying, Annapolis really going to be trying to chew the clock towards 3 minutes or even closer to 2 minutes, force Lexington to use that 2 minute, to not be able to use that 2 minute warning as a 4th timeout. And that, boy, Lexington really going to have to play with a chip on their shoulder now.
2nd and 3, handoff to Squarebush. Squarebush, he picks up the blocks. Can he shed the man? No, he won't. They get it up to the 44. 1st and 10 once more for the Navs.
Well, and Randy Squarebush, I mean, as much as, we sort of tongue-in-cheek mention Randy Squarebush not getting the memo about how running the ball to run down the clock works. I mean, really, just as much, he is a reliable man to put the ball in his hands in situations like this, because he's going to pick up 5 or 6 yards before he goes down no matter what, and that essentially ensures that you keep the ball in your hands for 2 or 3 more downs.
Another handoff, Squarebush, and the blocks are picked up. Can't outround the first man, though. Gets 7. Makes it 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and the offensive awareness of Randy Squarebush, not really needing to use his speed or athleticism any more than usual there. We've seen plenty of exceptional plays, but really just getting around with his blocks there and finding the open space, picking up a few yards, keeping the clock running. And man, you worry if you're Lexington that maybe even Annapolis is going to use up the 2 minute warning.
2nd and 3. Heavy set. Once again, handoff Squarebush right up the middle. Squarebush gets the first down. 1st and 10.
Well, Annapolis continuing to march down the field, really using up this 2 minute warning. And even if they're not able to put up a touchdown, I mean, putting up a field goal and continuing to chew away at the clock, I think, would be mission success for Annapolis here. Lexington running low on time, not zero time, mind you, but man, it's getting so tough for Lexington.
expect another handoff here to take it to the 2-minute warning that they will hand it off. Loss of 2. And that is the 2-minute warning. Annapolis up 34-24. We're going to see how this game closes out just after this. You're watching the SFLm on YouTube. Been a fairly easy waltz for Annapolis as they're looking to improve to 7-0. Practically setting up an SFLm regular season championship game next week against the Madison Lynx.
Yeah, and Annapolis are looking very difficult to beat. You know, it's not a perfect comparison to compare them to that Albuquerque Adams team that won the SFLm championship last season, but oh man, I believe next week we're seeing Annapolis Madison. There is, I believe, one more meeting between them nonetheless, and that very well could be a preview of the SFLm final game.
Yes, it very well could be. Meanwhile, for Lexington, despite the disappointing loss heading into the last week of the season, they are hosting the Salt Lake City Rustlers, who so far throughout these past few weeks have gone ice cold.
Yeah, and you know, you never want to count a team out, you know, especially with the level of talent here in the SFLm. But both Salt Lake City and Ottawa are really going to be looking to turn things around, looking to end the season on a positive note here.
Which, by the way, I would like to note the fact that that punt would have almost could have been at like the 1-inch line.
Yeah, that would have been that would have been insult to injury here for Lexington. Man, that certainly would have expected to see some sort of circus acrobat antics if they were not up so big. That was almost one of the best punts we've seen all day, and we saw a punt that rolled out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
And now for Lexington, they're going to need to scratch and claw their way back into it. High snap for Usman. Throws it over. Oh, he's caught! And he's in the open field! Down the sideline! 20, 10, touchdown! It's not quite over yet. It's improbable, but it ain't impossible.
Well, they say never stop playing until you hear the whistle. Well, we're seeing that very principle applied to this game. I mean, you know, like you said, incredibly unlikely, especially with the time that we have remaining. But Usman puts that ball up and just absolutely finds the perfect space. Nobody in a green jersey around to stop him, or in a black jersey, excuse me. And Lexington almost certainly going to go for the onside kick here. They only have one timeout, but this is workable. A miracle is on the table. That's all I'll say to avoid jinxing.
That it is. Kick is away, and it is good. 10 points now separate the two squads. And now Lexington needs the onside kick. Onside kicks made a little bit more often here in the SFLm than they are in the big league and even in the NFL or NCAA, so we'll have to see. Kicks away, it's up. Taken by Annapolis.
Well executed kick there. Just takes a little bit too much of a bounce. That was certainly well placed, but just a bit of an awkward angle, and it comes up like that.
And so for Annapolis, they're just going to knee it out and take it into the locker room.
Yeah, and it feels like it's becoming a bit of a cliche at this point, but Annapolis really showing a complete performance from top to bottom. Gene Struthers really showing, doing a fantastic job of at quarterback. Although, excuse me, although Randy Squarebush has shouldered a lot of the offensive load as we sort of expected going into this game. He's really had some impressive passes, just sort of lofting it up into the air, and a lot of credit also due to Yabimbe Adams, Odette Boudreau. A lot of credit to go around for this Annapolis performance in this game, and I'd even say throughout the season, a lot of credit to go around.
Yeah, that it is true. They will not have enough time to completely kneel it out. No, it looks like they'll have just enough time to do so. So it's going to be 34-21 the final. Lowest point output for Annapolis this season. Finally dipping below 35 for the first time this year. Which, just saying, this is the first time a team's scored less than 35 points in a game. I mean, that's impressive.
That is very true, and it's a credit to Lexington's defense. Although they are going to walk away with a loss here, to hold them to that few points is a testament to their courage and what they've been able to do well here. The situation that we'll very briefly go over: Lexington possibly could fall below the playoff line with a win by Tacoma in their game to come later. Memphis currently behind Boise 15-24, and Annapolis walking away with a decisive win here.
That they do, and so all roads going to lead to the Annapolis-Madison game, assuming the Lynx can pull off the win tonight in the nightcap. But for here, I mean, it was domination from start to finish by the Navigators.
Yeah, and really, I think, sometimes we see results both in the SFLm and in the SFL in general that maybe don't quite tell the whole story. Annapolis were very good from top to bottom, but we also saw plenty of things to be excited about if you're a fan of Lexington, or if you're a fan of their players even. We're seeing a lot of development from Usman. He's turning into a very reliable quarterback. Sawyer Stern may not have the explosive power of a Randy Squarebush to just run over the defensive line, but he was quite reliable this game too. And maybe you don't always need to be the consensus rookie of the year candidate. Maybe sometimes just being a reliable hand that your coaches can count on is enough to help you succeed at the next level.
Right, and of course tonight as well, it was a lot of wide receiver action from all four tonight. Orion Darby and Nick Lockett for Annapolis got big play after big play. Same thing goes for David Gears as well. Look, we're looking at his big touchdown at the end of this game.
Yeah, plenty of highlight reel plays for Nick Lockett and for Gears, and I believe the game ball would have to go to Randy Squarebush, and that is exactly what our statisticians say as well.
Yep, player of the game goes to Randy Squarebush, and that'll do it for us tonight here at the SFLm. From all of us here, I'm Jack Brown alongside Alden Bleeker. We say so long and have a fantastic Saturday evening.